I'd arranged to meet the Cranksters at 7:30 on an April Saturday morning, but nobody showed up. So, with no one to ride with, I wheeled down to Concord Tea Cakes and decided it was time to stop and fuel up with a small coffee and a cranberry orange muffin. I sat outside enjoying my breakfast as the morning sun warmed on my back, and I planned my leisurely solo route, but then I was spotted, damn this club logo, by a passing spinster on his way to an 8 o'clock rendezvous. "Why don't you join us?" he asked. "Okay, sounds good," I said, my mouth full of muffin. I joined a small gang of sinewy spinsters, the usual group: Philip, Peter, Andrew, and 7 guys named Dan. They seemed friendly enough on the outside, but it was clear some blood doping had been going on. "Come on, Sean," they said, and proffered individual assurances of their lack of fitness. "I've been sick for 3 weeks. It's only my second time out since 1980. I'm recovering from a broken arm. I had a vasectomy earlier this morning. Come on, you'll be fine." So I finished my coffee, wiped the muffin crumbs off my paunchy midriff, and saddled up. This was not going to be good. We were averaging 32 miles an hour up the first hill on Lawsbrook Road. "So how's life?" somebody asked. I tried to reply, but all I could do was belch coffee and muffin fumes, which prevented me for about 1.5 seconds from taking that essential breath. I then tried to answer the question again, forcing me to use vital inhaling time. But I did manage to squeak out, "Fine." That was the end of that fascinating conversation as far as I was concerned, and I was getting back to the business of inhaling. "What's new?" my affable biking partner continued, and I'm thinking, shut the fuck up. Can't you see I'm trying to breathe here? My heart rate was about 170, and the mixture of dark roast and cranberry orange muffin in my stomach bile was fighting its way up my throat. I think I managed to croak out something like, "Oh, the usual." But by this point, he had stood up in his pedals and accelerated off to join the group. That was the last I saw of them. I looked down at my odometer, which mockingly read 1.8 miles. I dropped my pace to a respectable 11 miles an hour, caught my breath, belched a few more times, and fell into a comfortable rhythm. I was somewhere between Stowe and Bolton when I decided to experiment with a different route. I think secretly I didn't want to run into the spinsters again out in Harvard, looking sweaty and red-faced and one step from needing a defibrillator. So I took a left where I normally take a right, and I was totally lost within about 3 minutes. Houses started to get scarce, and those that I passed now had appliances rusting in the yard and young, malnourished boys playing banjos on the front porches. I stopped and asked a one-eyed man where I was, and all he did was look at me in my spandex and cycling gear and say, "You got purty lips, son." Eventually, I reached a main road that I recognized, and I was relieved to regain my bearings. I ended up on Route 111, where I stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts to refuel. It was dark when I got home, but I managed about 22 miles an hour. I managed about 22 miles at a respectable 16 miles an hour. I plan to read again tomorrow. Any out-of-shape 50-somethings, well, now 60-somethings, who like to chat while riding 12 miles an hour are welcome to join us. It's biking season again. Let the pain and humiliation begin. Sorry I'm not with you tonight. My best to all the monsters. You've given me hours and hours of riding pleasure and fitness. God bless everyone.